67 catches last year, 972 yards, 6 touchdowns scored on an abysmal offense, right? The Broncos were bad last year. Russell Wilson was bad last year. Nathaniel Hackett was giving off does not belong vibes as a head coach last year. Now he's the offensive coordinator with the Jets because Aaron Rodgers loves Nathaniel Hackett back from their time in Green Bay. Good for Nathaniel Hackett. But the Broncos were an absolute train wreck last year from the jump, from the start. And yet Jerry Jeudy still was able to put together a decent season with Russ playing absolutely terribly. 18.2 half PPR fantasy points in week 1. He got off to a great start. And then he went in the tank. Just as I say, he was consistent. Weeks 2 and 3 were not good. 1.7 and 2.7 in weeks 2 and 3. That's not going to get it done. Not good. 13.3 points week 4, 6.8 and 6.9 weeks 5 and 6. Not very good. It got better, though. 13.1 in week 7, 15.3 in week 8. They had their week 9 bye. Week 10, he got hurt. Didn't record a catch, didn't pick anything up in the form of production. He got hurt early in that game, missed the next 2 weeks. That's just one of those, what are you going to do, right? That's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Sometimes we fire up players into our starting lineup and they get hurt early on. That's the nature of the beast. So goose egg week 10, missed week 11 and week 12 due to the injury. But then he came back and he did just fine. 8.5 points week 13, 29.3 week 14, 11.1 week 15, 14.7 week 16. He didn't help you championship week very much. Only 7.3 points scored week 17. But he had a great week 18 for anybody who had their championship week in week 18. 21.8 half PPR points scored for an average of 11.4 on the season. Again, finished as a wide receiver 2 overall. Finished as a wide receiver 2 in fantasy points per game on the lower end. But now we got Sean Payton in as head coach over instead of Nathaniel Hackett. We expect him to take this reclamation project and make the Broncos offense better than what it was last year, which shouldn't be very difficult because they were putrid. Again, Jeudy put up these numbers in an abysmal offense. One that we expect to be better this year. I like him a lot this year. I'm happy to draft him late 3rd, early 4th round. If he falls to me in the 4th round, I am hammering that every single time. I don't care what the roster construction is of my team thus far up to that point. I'm high on Jerry Jeudy. I'm high on the talent. What I can't sit here and definitively tell you is Russell Wilson cooked? Does he have another season in him? Can he get back to even 65 or 70% of what he was in Seattle? That remains to be seen. Maybe that's asking a little much, but I got to imagine Sean Payton doesn't take this job if he doesn't feel like he can squeeze more out of this offense. They should just be better by the nature of the NFL, the ebb and flow of the NFL. Sometimes you're bad. The very next year, you're good. Sean Payton is a great offensive mind. He has stamped his legacy in the NFL as one of the great offensive gurus as a head coach. They had a long, sustained track record of success in New Orleans, and specifically on offense. I think he went to Denver, and he's going to be able to maybe not replicate some of those Saints numbers, but they're going to be better than they were last year. And with Jerry Jeudy as the top dog, as the clear-cut top wide receiver in that offense, I expect him to have an upper echelon wide receiver 2 season. He should be able to crack into the top 15, or he should be able to flirt with cracking into the top 15 at the very least. I think as long as he stays healthy, a top 20 season is a lock, and I think he's got top 15 upside on the season, and I do believe he's got high-end wide receiver 2 upside on a per weekly basis. I think he can improve on all of these numbers and finish better than the wide receiver 21 overall. The last piece of information here is that it was being rumored earlier in the offseason that the Broncos might be shopping one of their wide receivers. Seems pretty obvious now at this point that player was Sutton, not Jeudy. I can't imagine they were happy with the asking price, and therefore Sutton is still on the roster. They drafted Marvin Mims in the second round of the draft. I think it was the second round of the draft. It was like 52nd overall. They drafted Marvin Mims. I think that's a Sutton replacement, not a Jeudy replacement. Maybe not just yet, but down the line, long term. Jeudy is this team's wide receiver 1. I expect him to have a really strong season. I have him as my wide receiver 19, and I've got the arrow pointing up on him. I am drafting Jeudy when I can, especially if he falls to me like early 4th round. I'm doing that every single time.